Good morning, everyone. Welcome to a special edition of Light Sports Ramble. It's actually a retake of last night's Light Sports Ramble that I, for some reason, could not publish. And I tried again this morning, and it just wouldn't publish. Said cannot publish. So I'm not sure if the settings were wrong on the video, something up with my YouTube channel. Could have been my network with Sprint, who I will adamantly say I dislike. But the company pays for it, so I can't complain. So with that said, I'm going to get into last night's topic, which actually stemmed from yesterday's Mike and Mike show about the Super Bowl being in New York and the cold weather game. And there's two sides to it. Do the fans like it? Do the players like it? From a fan's perspective, you could like that game. The ambiance of the snow and the cold and football and so on and so forth. It might be okay to watch. But as a fan, do you want to really sit in sub-zero temperatures in a blizzard to watch the game? Now, I am from Green Bay. And I personally have been to very cold games. I don't like them. As a fan, I like being at the game, but it is cold. I don't care how many hand warmers you have. I don't care how many layers you put on. I don't care how many foot warmers you put in your boots. It is still cold. And sometimes very uncomfortable in the stands. So we'll see what the fan base is like when the Super Bowl rolls around. And we all know this is becoming corporate America. So half the stadium is filled with those corporate people. Are they going to go to the game if it's 14 degrees and a chance of snow? I don't know. But we have to be real. They may not. They may not go. So do we run a risk of maybe having a stadium that's half full? Maybe. And how bad would that be for the Super Bowl? That would be terrible. Now, granted, I think you're going to find 80,000 people that don't mind sitting in the cold weather to watch the Super Bowl. But you know as well as I do, they're not going to sell the tickets until game day and may not even decide not to show up until right before the game. I mean, even Lambeau Field in a cold weather game that I've been to, they say it's a sellout because all the tickets have been sold, right? But that doesn't mean that everybody shows up to the game. And so that's my concern with the fans. Are they all going to show up if it is bad weather? Now, we don't know what the forecast is going to be. It could be a crisp, cool winter day that is bearable. But it's still going to be cold. It's New York. And so that's my concern. The second concern is the players. You can pull any player from a cold weather team, whether it's Green Bay, New York, New England, Buffalo. Do you really think they like playing in the cold weather? I would say no. They don't want to have to layer up. They don't have to want to stay warm. They go out for warm-ups. They got to come back in, get warm again, then go back in the cold. That is not fun. Not fun at all. Personal experience. My junior year in college, our season went till the end of October. We had to play a game in Rockford, Illinois. The day before was an ice storm, and it was an uncharacteristically cold day in October. Game time temperature was under 32 degrees, and it was windy. I swear the wind chill had to be about 10 to 12 degrees. It was freezing. But we had to play the game. It wasn't going to get better next week. Regional rankings on the line. You had to play the game. Now, the weather came into play here. On paper, we were better than Rockford. And if we would have played that game 100 times in good conditions, we probably would have won the game 90 times out of 100. But now you have a field that's frozen. You got players that are not worrying about their job. They're worrying about the cold. I mean, me personally, the field was so frozen, I could barely stand up. So now when I'm getting ready to run or make a cut, I'm more now worried about my footing. I'm not worried about what am I going to do. As in a normal game, I make my cut, I go to the ball, and I'm going to make a play. Now I have to worry about planting my foot so I don't land on my ass. Sloppy game is all I have to say, and we ended up losing, and I'm not making an excuse. We lost the game. But without a frozen field, my goalie doesn't slip and the ball doesn't end up in the net. Routine save and he slips and the ball goes in the net. Yes, that is from the field conditions. So think about this. Super Bowl Sunday, frozen turf, single digit weather. Your running back gets a screen pass and he gets leveled. And because of the cold, he drops the ball. The other team picks it up, returns it for a touchdown. Or your quarterback goes back and it's a blizzard out, and so his accuracy and his throwing motion is changed, and he throws a pick right to the other team and they run it back for a pick six. You can blame the weather on those things. And so does that truly give us a Super Bowl? No. And I'm not even going to say the warm weather teams have a disadvantage. I mean, they do. But both teams have a disadvantage. Because you can practice in the cold, but it's that day. It's Sunday. What are the field conditions going to be like on Sunday? So why don't we try to keep manipulating the field conditions the best we can for Super Bowl Sunday? And let the players decide who is the better team, not the weather. Because I can see it now. Bad weather, one bad play where the weather caused maybe a player to slip, and that's why the ball's intercepted. And then I got to hear for a year from the fans of the losing team, well, if our player wouldn't have slipped, if the game would have been played in Florida, that's what's going to happen. And that's what I'd hate to see happen. I have no problem with the neutral site, warm city, a dome Super Bowl. I don't have a problem with that. I mean, to be honest, I don't know if I'd ever want to see a Super Bowl at Lambeau Field. It gets cold up there. It gets extremely cold. And it's uncomfortable for everyone, players and fans. And so I think it just takes away from what the game is about. Let the players decide the game and try to manipulate the field conditions the best we can. If we play in an open venue and it rains, which has happened, the Bears versus the Colts, and it maybe had an effect on some of the plays. But it wasn't New York and it wasn't a frozen day, yeah, rain makes it a little bit uncomfortable. But I think the players can adjust better to just some rain than frozen temperatures. Because when you get off the field, now you're going to the sideline, you're trying to warm up. Are you really thinking about your task at hand? And you do. I was a player, but I've played in games that are cold. And you are thinking about, man, my fingers are frozen. Man, my toes are frozen. And like I said, when I played, it changed my mindset because I had to worry about footing. Then I had to worry about the play. That split second can cause disaster, especially in NFL football. Like I'm saying, a tight end or a receiver making a cut on a quick out. We all know the quarterback throws the ball before he makes his cut. And so now he slips and the cornerback is there and it's a pick six. I don't want to see that ugly play. So I hope that makes sense. So my 2 points. For the fans, it could be unbearable and we may not see a full stadium, which is injustice to the game. That stadium should be packed and there's a ton of people that would love to go see the Super Bowl. The average working Joe would love to go see the Super Bowl. And so somebody that has a ticket and is afraid of the cold may not show up. That's an injustice to the game. And secondly, the players. The players themselves. Let's let them play and decide the game and not let the weather decide the Super Bowl. And so that's my take on the cold weather Super Bowl, folks. I am totally against it. So let me know what you think on Twitter or on my YouTube page. I'm going to go try and publish this one. Hopefully it's not my phone again. I'll see you at the next red light. Enjoy your day, everyone. I'll come back at you tonight with another ramble.